and welcome to this series on how I started my garden as a first-time gardener with no experience whatsoever. My name is Tope, and in this series I'll be showing you how I started my garden from a blank canvas. I started it from nothing, soon nothing grew. There was some lifting and bending, watering, assisted reproduction, jumping and dancing, and wins. But there were also losses, a few lessons learned. The season ended and overall I have lessons to share with you. I'm excited to share my experience as a first-time gardener and I hope you learn from this series. I considered building my raised bed with wood and I didn't want to use treated wood, so I was looking at wood that would not rot easily, wood like cedar, but getting it was just so expensive. So I decided to explore UPVC, recycled plastic materials, and I came across this company called Linkabord. So I got my raised bed kits from them, which they make in different sizes and colors. So this is what I have. I think it's about the same length, and then I've got these pieces there which will be like the connectors, and yeah, we'll see. So this is what I have so far. They have corner joints, you put those at the corners, and then there, and then there are straight joints, and so you put those there, and essentially that's the shape. They sell like 3 colors, this color, brown, green, and I think black, and I prefer this. Yeah, I'm gonna get going. Each piece is 1 meter long, so if you want your raised bed to be 1 meter by 1 meter, then you use 4 pieces for each layer. If you want it to be 1 meter by 2 meters, then you need 6 pieces, and if you want it to be 1 meters by 3 meters, then you need 8 pieces. In terms of the height of each level or layer, it's 15 cm. So if you want your raised bed to just be 15 cm high, then you just need 1. If you want it to be 30, you need 2 levels, and if you want it to be 45, you need 3. In this video you'll see me set up for 3 layers, 45, which is what I started out with. But halfway into my gardening season, I took off the topmost layer and I ended up with 30 cm as my height, which is one of the benefits of using this Linkabord pieces, because you can adjust and then take off things that you don't want. Raised bed is coming up. I think I got 3 of these. It feels quite wobbly. So I tried to put in the stick-like pieces, I don't remember what they're called, and then after doing so I now tried to add the second layer, and it was just a disaster. I don't know if you've noticed that I ditched the hat at this point because I was getting frustrated. There was a lot of try and error, and I read the instructions like 10 times. It just wasn't clear, and yeah, I ended up giving up. Another thing that frustrated me was digging my soil. So my soil is very hard, it's like rock, like clay, and I thought I'll just share with you so you know that there are options and you don't have to dig your soil if you're going to be starting your raised bed. So there's something actually called the no dig method, which is essentially where you don't dig the soil and you put whatever you want on it, mostly organic matter or compost, so that there are fungi and organisms in there that will actually help you to break down the soil. And by using the no dig method, you also preserve the worms and other organisms that are in the soil. They're not disturbed by you digging, and then the soil structure itself is intact. So just to let you know there are options, you don't have to dig, and if anyone would ask me, that's what I would actually recommend. So I actually tried to mow my lawn because I don't know why I thought that would be easier and it would help, but yeah, it clearly did not help. So it was still like really hard. My soil is clay. It's like hard rock. There's no way I can dig out anything, so I think I'm just going to cover the grass like that. And I think that when the grass doesn't get sunlight, it will die. That's my hope. I guess somehow the grass itself can become compost. It will decompose and nourish the soil, but This is just a disaster. Oh my god, like why is it so hard? Or maybe I have the wrong tool. Like with meal. Anyway, it's gonna continue. So remember that I gave up on the raised bed, setting it up, and yeah, so I decided to get some help. You know, I got my friend to help me, thinking 2 heads are better than one. And in the end, we still just used like trial and error. So what we did was we raised the second layer and then put that on top. We tried to align all the edges and pieces together, and then after doing that, we took the stick-like structure thing, what you used to hold it in place, the support. We took those and put them at certain points, not all the joints, but in the middle, at the edge, and just to keep the bed in place so it doesn't move while we add the third layer. For the third layer, we tried to raise that and then put that the same way. But yeah, that didn't go up as planned. We ended up doing half of it, and so essentially get some help if you're going to be using these raised beds. Maybe I just don't understand it, and if someone from the company ever watches this video, it would be nice for you to explain or make a video out there that people can watch, people that have like this size, because there's actually a video for like the smaller beds, but it just wasn't clear. So we had the half piece here, and then we ended up just joining the pieces as we went along, and we removed each stick and then put it back. That way the bed itself wasn't falling apart, and that's how we got it assembled. We added the support pieces to all the areas where we had joined the raised bed pieces themselves, so the corners and the middle. And after all that stress, I gave my plants a pep talk. So yeah, just listen. It was so funny. I forgot I was recording this, by the way. No sickness. Let me warn all of you now. Eh? Are you hearing? You have to grow. You have to grow and produce food. Because me, I don't labor in vain. My household, you don't labor in vain. And you're in an African home. If you don't perform well, you shall be flogged.
Are you recording?
It is actually. I forgot.
But I don't think that one is in the. That one is not in different.
If you don't grow about it, then nothing knowing. Finished. To save money in filling my raised bed, I saved boxes from packages that I received over time. And the idea is that those will decompose and become organic material that will go ahead to nourish the soil. So this is something that you can do. You can also add logs of wood if you have those, pieces from trees, dry leaves, paper, shredded paper, mostly brown material, anything that will go ahead to nourish the soil and decompose. You can add those. These are ways in which you can save costs in filling your raised bed, because the cost of compost and topsoil is not cheap. I added about 3 layers of cardboard boxes, but you can add as much as you want. Like if you, the more you have, the better and cheaper for you. So feel free to go crazy. Add as much cardboard, logs, anything really, anything, any of the things that I mentioned earlier, and even some that I didn't mention. Feel free to add them, so far as they're things that will decompose and become organic material and nourish your soil. So when you're filling your raised bed, you don't want to use this kind of cardboard or box, because it's been painted and it's glossy. Yeah, and yeah, it's likely that they've used some sort of chemicals for this. What you want to use is a box that looks like this, just your regular brown box, and if it's got the plastic tape, then you take that off. I'm using one hand, so, and in this case, yeah, the tape hasn't gone off well, so I'm just going to cut this bit before putting this in my raised bed. But yeah, so that's just it. I also saved the brown paper wraps that usually come with packages, and again it goes to saving cost. So I saved some of them. I just tried to hand tear them or shred them to smaller pieces. I added this to my raised bed, and then I now went ahead to add an extra layer of cardboard on top of this layer. And then it was compost time. I bought my compost in 2 batches, so you see me add the first batch and then add the second batch later on. But essentially, to save cost, I recommend you go for multi-buy deals. There we go. This is so much fun.
Director of videography.
This was another day after I had gotten my other supplies. I added some topsoil to the raised bed. I added 4 bags of topsoil, and again I went for multi-buy deals. I bought some topsoil because I wanted to just save some money. Compost was more expensive, not like it was significantly cheaper than topsoil, but then I also just thought that mixing it, not just having compost and pure organic material in there was good for the bed. So I added the bags of topsoil and mixed it up with the compost. Adding some fish blood and bone. For those that might be wondering what fish blood and bone is, it's an organic based general purpose plant food. It's just something you can use for all your plants, so shrubs, vegetables, flowers, and essentially you mix it into the soil because that's the best way to use it. You work it into the soil and it gradually releases all the nutrients that your plant needs and nourishes the soil for you. So here I'm just mixing it up properly so that it's properly into the compost, the topsoil, and it can be released gradually for my plants. I topped up with 1 bag of compost, and altogether I'm filling my raised bed. I used 8 bags of compost, 4 bags of topsoil, and a few hand pours of fish blood and bone. I don't know how to measure that. And then I used several layers of cardboard and some scrap paper. And yeah, that was it. I spread out everything in the compost and just tried to mix it evenly, and the bed was ready for all my plants to go in. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up now. It'll help the video to reach more people on YouTube and help the channel to do better. And also subscribe if you like to see my journey as a first-time gardener growing my own vegetables and food. So this is what it's looking like. I think I have enough grain. I guess this is a mixture of compost and soil. Enough grain medium to grow my veggies. And yeah, I saved 1 last bag of compost just so I have compost in the house if I needed to grow anything. I plan on transplanting. I plan on taking these strawberries to get new plants, so I need some compost for that. And then those 2 there, and then there's 1 more in here. But yeah, let's get to putting these guys in the bed. And that's it from me in this video. If you like to see how I actually started my vegetable garden from seed to plant, then make sure to stick around, subscribe. Tomorrow I'll actually be sharing the early stages process. Yeah, I'll see you again in my next video. Until then, stay blessed, stay safe, and bye.